Welcome to the Home Health Minute, your monthly podcast brought to you by the Home Health section of the American Physical Therapy Association. Hosted by yours truly, Dustin Jones from the Senior Rehab Project. Hello friends, this is Dustin Jones, Home Health Physical Therapist, and I wanted to share with you an awesome guest editorial from the Home Health section's quarterly report. This was released in spring of 2017, and it was written by Arlen Hansel. Arlen is the former vice president of the Home Health section. She recently resigned, did an amazing job. I know many people really appreciate her service to the section, but also the profession. So I'm going to have someone very special read her guest editorial, but make sure that you stick around after that for a very special announcement from the Home Health section and something that will be very beneficial for you and your patients.
This is from the Home Health section, the quarterly report from spring 2017. It's a guest editorial, COT for Upper Extremity Range of Motion and Strength by Arlen Hansel, PT. That is a frightening headline. I have seen this very statement routinely documented by physical therapists in the Electronic Medical Record, EMR, section for range of motion, ROM, manual muscle testing, MMT, as indicated in tables 1 through 3. I shake my head and wonder, where does the thought process for this come from? But let me back up. My work includes auditing therapy charts, and I have noticed a disturbing trend among them. My observations are not limited to physical therapy charts. I find occupational therapy charts equally at fault. As a matter of fact, one of the software EMRs for occupational therapy does not even include a section for assessment of lower body ROM or MMT. And despite the need for the patients of the OTs to ambulate within the home for ADL completion, they include no section for assessment of gait. My overarching question is this: why would physical therapists defer MMT of the upper extremity to OTs, yet assess for gait, transfers, etc., seemingly confident in the ability of the patient to rely on upper extremity strength to manage an assistive device, utilize the upper extremities for sit to stand, reach out appropriately for support and protection against falling, etc.? Why are therapists giving half the body away to another discipline, yet expecting those very limbs to, quote, work, end quote? When I question professionals about why this occurs, I've learned that therapists are reluctant to assign strength to muscle groups the other discipline is concurrently assessing for fear of inconsistency in the grades. I appreciate that, as there can be inter-rater variances. But just as their scoring of muscle strength may vary, so might the patient. Consider the elderly patient who had a physical therapy eval first thing in the morning, then a nurse visit, and an OT eval late in the afternoon. There are most likely going to be physical changes felt by the patient, dependent upon whether he or she is a morning person or not, if he or she needed pain medications or any other medications to get him or her up and moving, how much activity he or she had during the day, etc. I would not let the thought of scoring variances bother me. Documentation should reflect why the patient is presenting as he or she is. In concurrent vernacular terms, it is what it is. However, if it is noted that there are consistently wide swings between the therapists, perhaps an in-service on MMT is warranted. The physical therapist I've questioned about this went on to state that since they are not, quote, working, end quote, on a, quote, upper extremity goal, end quote, there is no need to assess the muscle groups. Let me be the devil's advocate here. What happens when the physical therapist defers that part of the assessment and the occupational therapist ends up as eval only or refused evaluation on further care / does not write a goal that encompasses the, quote, neglected body part? If the two disciplines do not conference after their eval visits, the, quote, neglected body part is never addressed, leaving the patient at a disadvantage and possible safety risk. And let us not forget the dissatisfaction these patients may indicate on their patient satisfaction surveys. As per providing physical therapy in the home, physical therapists are to provide joint integrity and mobility testing. It does not state, quote, only lower extremity, end quote, joint integrity and mobility testing. Curricula for physical therapy students involve a detailed knowledge of the entire body from a cardiovascular, neurologic, musculoskeletal, and functional standpoint. Cadavers were not dissected from the waist down. Who among us had to write out in detail on a functional anatomy exam every muscle group, an action involved in picking up a cup and drinking from it. Quote, deferring in quote areas of our practice to other disciplines is putting our practice of therapy on a slippery slope. How do we then eventually defend what is needed for a physical therapist to address as opposed to an OT, athletic trainer, chiropractor, or the gym trainer? We must own and protect all arenas within our Practice Act. Doing less is a disservice to ourselves, our licenses, and most importantly, our patients.
There you have it, folks. COT for upper extremity range of motion / strength. So that beautiful voice was actually my wife that read that article. I somehow talked her into that, but she is what you could call a home health groupie. She loves home health PTs. She's an emergency physician, so she refers to home health quite a bit. So she loves the work that we do. So now the special announcement. The home health section behind the scenes for a long time has been working on a home health advanced competency. And so a team of very skilled, experienced clinicians have created content to equip you to be competent and really excellent in providing home health physical therapy. So what this looks like, it's a hybrid program. So it contains 5 core online courses, and then it has 1 in-person classroom course. All of the modules in the program could also be seen as standalone courses if you would just want to learn about that specific topic. So here there are the courses that are online. So you have the home health clinical assessment, pharmacology for the home health physical therapist, home health regulation and documentation. You have balance and falls, factors, measurements, and interventions for home health. And lastly, ethical considerations for physical therapists practicing in the home health setting. So 5 online courses, and then you'll have a full day of an in-person course to kind of bring things together. And then you will be certified as having advanced competency in home health. So I highly encourage you to check that out. There will be a link in the show notes, or you could go to the home health section's website, which is homehealthsection.org. Once again, that is homehealthsection.org, and you will see a link at the top of the page. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk with you soon. Hit me! Thank you for listening to the Home Health Minute, the podcast from the Home Health section of the American Physical Therapy Association. Feel free to check out our website, www.homehealthsection.org, to find links for this episode, tons of helpful resources for your practice, and how you can connect with us on social media. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, my friends, do not forget to stay funky. This podcast is brought to you in partnership with the Senior Rehab Project at seniorrehabproject.com.